My friends, welcome to the episode 14 of Phase 10. I'm joined by some of the best in the business. Gunner, Syllogic, Trevor, welcome, my friends. Let's talk the talk. Boys, it has been weeks. It has been weeks of just grinding and some wonderful success, some really character building moments, and everything else in between. How is life out there for you boys?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, can't complain. We're still in a 5-star hotel, and obviously all expenses are paid through PUBG. So, I mean, other than the stress of the event itself and the amount of money that we're playing for, like PUBG is doing a great job of taking care of us and making sure we're staying safe. So that's important. But I mean, it's been a good experience so far.
Hell yeah. The games have been nuts to watch, like from a viewer standpoint. Like there's always something going on, which is nice. There's like always some games to be watching, which is super cool, but from a viewer's perspective, it has been wild. A very, very wild ride. But yeah, man. Good night. Let's talk about it though. I want to get right into it because I've personally wondered like the stress levels, everything. As you're going week to week, match to match, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you guys approaching this? How are you guys dissecting it? You know, what's the thought process from start to finish when you're going through these, especially the weekly survival?
Yeah, the weekly survival is by far like the most stressful because nothing literally matters other than winning. Like you have to win if you want to win money. And obviously, with the 32 best teams in the world, like it's not always that easy to get a win. Like when we play back home in NA or some of these other teams in these, in their regions, getting wins isn't too hard to come by because you can capitalize on a lot of the mistakes that the other teams make. But when you're thrown against the best team or against the best teams in the world, like every day, and they're here for a reason. Like they just don't make that many mistakes, so it's hard to just constantly capitalize and put yourself into positions to win games when like you're not gifted a circle. Like it's when you get 9 circles, you're supposed to win that game. However, like the games like that are important to look at are basically the games where you aren't gifted. Bale Frost in the
Sorry,
back.
Bale, I'll mute.
Yeah, but it's important to look at the games that like, you aren't supposed to, you don't get gifted the circle, and then you think about how you could win those games. And it's just been an extremely, extremely stressful time because, everyone is just so damn good here. And, you make one mistake and you get punished for it, and then you lose one player. And it's just, every player that you lose just significantly lowers your chances of winning a game. So, I mean, it's been stressful. I mean, I'm already kind of gray, so at least like I can't get too much gray, but I do think I'm starting to go bald. Like, I mean, and if the Marine Corps didn't do it to me, this event is putting it over the top and getting it done for me for sure.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I think one of the big like defining factors of this tournament so far has been there's like a clear distinction in how you play during the week and how you play during the weekend. I would say that we have like really figured out how to play during the week, at least we think we have. And like last weekend, we had a really tough time switching gears on Saturday and how to like go back to playing like normally and how we would normally play. And then like we had 4-0 point games in a row. Like it kind of got in our heads after 1 or 2 of them. And then like you're kind of spiraling out. So like, that's why like Saturday was kind of a wash for us. But yeah, it's like the constant, like Gunner said, like you have to play so differently. Because if you lose a player or 2, like your chances of winning that game just got like destroyed, like their percentage of winning. So switching gears is like a big thing. And also like we have different strategies for like different parts of the map. Like if there's like a hospital circle or looting military, like Pat literally took a DBS and we crashed center and he just walked in and fucking one-tapped the guy. And then we like took the compound. like we have like completely like different stuff we've thought about for stuff we would never do in like a normal game. But you have to like make big plays to get winning like positions. So it's like it's definitely been like a strategic. I don't know, like I mean that's kind of fun, I guess. The strategic side of it, you get to make up new stuff. But the constant switching gears is something we're working on.
For sure. Syl, I got to hear your take on it, man.
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks now since I've obviously we've gotten out of the weekly survival. Going back into the weekly reseeding, it's honestly, I feel like when we got our when we were like sweeping everything like from the start of the tournament, and then we won the very first game, and then like had a poor day one, like switching gears, kind of like Trevor said, and then like the second day we showed up, but like I think like the first time we didn't make it out of the weekly survival, which was last week, like it was just like a really poor like approach from the boys. I think like it's like it was really hard to get them out of the mindset that they needed the winning position in every single moment, but like I feel like that combined with some bad luck obviously didn't help, but it's like I think like this tournament is a test of like mental fortitude, because for us to be losing like 16 games last week and not getting a win and just playing like crap, like actually no, I'm not even gonna say that, I'm playing like shit, like it eats at your players' minds, honestly. And like we showed up much better this week, I guess. Like weekly, like last reseeding, like we did okay. We got top 4, but obviously would have wanted to get number 1 to get the maximum games like as possible, because out of the reseeding you can only get up to 15 matches. So I saw a purple screen on Twitch. Do you see that on your stream?
Oh,
That's good to go. We're still rocking.
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
good,
all right. Anyway,
Okay.
but it's like for us, I feel like we were just having like a hard time like getting ourselves out of like a poor mindset, and I think that we showed up well this week, but out of playing like not being in the late game for like such a long time, like they ran into issues of where like they forgot how to close out games a little bit, and like obviously that's eating at them too. So like I'm not giving them I'm trying not to give them like a hard time about it, because like it only this is like essentially like there's like a huge mental block. But I mean, we're going into reseedings again, and I think that we should do well if we continue playing like we did on Wednesday. Our time, like on the day 2 of weekly survival, we played really well, but like we should have closed out game 1 and like maybe like game 2 or something like that, but or like game 4. I forgot which mirror it was, but yeah, I feel like like going back to the statement of what I said, this tournament's like one huge mental hurdle. Like that's like fact, because for for those games that you are supposed to close out and win, whether you get to like 8 or 9 circles or something like that, or whether you lose that's huge, because you kind of feel like you lost your chance of the week almost. Like there's just so many things that's just so mentally taxing, and like this format for viewers, I noticed on the first week was like it was really amazing to watch. Like a lot of people like watching it, and like I feel like slowly people are realizing that it's like an RNG fest, and it's like kind of ridiculous. But and then I'm coming into it now, it's like for the viewers, cool, but for the players and like for the competitors that are here, me, Gutter, and Trevor included, like it is extremely stressful. Like it is extremely stressful as like competitors, and honestly, like I wouldn't wish this for any other game, the format like this probably would never exist, but like I would wish for this format to never ever be used again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you make it to day 3 of survival, you've lost 5 years of your life. Like every day 3 is -5.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing good. Like last week, I mean, we got out on the second day, but the first day, like we came out and like we were like head and shoulders above everybody. And it was like one of those oath days where we're just feeling ourselves. I think we like on a traditional points, we would have had 51 points, but we just couldn't close out a game. And it's like, man, it's so tough when you're playing so good, and it just doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
like so like. Oh, God, Gunner. Go ahead.
So like in the Marine Corps, like everyone will say basically like every year in the Marine Corps, basically you've aged 4 years, right? So like, by the time you're out of the Marine Corps, you're basically in your 30s, even though you joined when you were 18. And I swear to you, like every day a weekly survival is like a 4-year age. Like if they like, I mean, thankfully the first 2 weeks we won the first day, and then we won, and then week 2 we won the very first game. So it like wasn't as stressful for me. And then we played like pretty, fairly well, like in the weekly finals, and won a bunch of money. But like getting into day 3 this week, like, was so freaking stressful, man. Like, I was like, that's all I thought about. I was like, you know what?
Mhm.
Each day that you haven't qualified for the weekly finals to win all the money that's 4 years too. So at this point, I got to be pushing like 60 or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. It's not like it's not
Jeez.
stressful until you're going home the first night without a win. Like that's like when I'm leaving, I'm like, oh fuck, man.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
even though I know my team's like super good and we should be winning and we're gonna probably win, like the chances of us winning are like I tell myself like still a pretty strong chance we're out of here, but it's like, oh shit, it starts creeping on you.
Mhm.
And like this week was the first week we won on the first day, and like I mean it wasn't a stressful week for me. I was like, all right, boys,
Yeah,
we caught
that's the feeling, right? Like,
we
yeah,
caught
there's
9.
nothing
We
better
went
than
home.
that feeling.
Yeah,
There's
like
nothing
I
it's
should
better
be
than that
100
feeling.
by now. Then
it's so funny because like how Gunners had nothing better than that feeling. Like Gunners win like last week, and my win this week. Like we just sat in our building. The circle ended right outside our walls, and we just walked out and got our win.
I mean, there's nothing
just
better
took-
than that.
We just took a paycheck
Right.
and went home. Like literally, like I mean, anybody could have won those games, and it's just like, I mean, it's a good feeling, sure, but it's not like obviously what we want to play in. It's not like
Yeah.
I don't want to celebrate that as what like our the best of the best is doing. Like I mean we're pretty candid about it. Like Jake literally is tweeting like I sat in my compound for 27 minutes, and so, but
yeah. I mean, like if there's a stat to like go behind that statement, like we're top 3 in kills per game, average, and we're top
you got
5
like the most
in
games though, bro.
We're in top 5 like average points per game. I mean most games is one thing, but like we're still like aside from the weekly survival last week, like we're still playing pretty fucking well. But like it's just like I don't know, like my mental age is probably like 90 now, judging by these last 2 weeks, and honestly, like it's rubbing off on me too. But I mean, like I like hopefully like we finish reseeding strong, and then go into this like really dumb survival tournament. Like and then the week after, hopefully we come out strong because the last 3 weeks is what matters. So
I don't know. I don't know if you saw Flux, but we're number 1 in kills, 32 best teams in the world, and we also average the most points per game out of the 32 best teams in the world. But if you didn't know, now you know.
Oh,
I got the stats now, boys. I got the stats. Oh man. Imagine that though. You guys are like, honestly, it's hard because from a viewer's perspective, it definitely it didn't feel like a RNG fest going into it, but like it does now. Like every single, it's like, oh, like you can even be like center with like the best compound or the best spot and just get crashed and just get, you know what I'm saying? Or hard shifts to Leoness for the, the 30th time. And then suddenly your position is no longer viable or even slightly good. It's just it's weird watching that because again, as soon as it goes sideways, then you automatically know every team that's literally not in there that's going to struggle getting in is probably not going to make it in, and if they do, it's in shambles. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts to watch that. Luckily, the weekly finals still feel similar, but it feels like they're influenced heavily by the gameplay that happens during the week.
well, the weekly finals aren't like a huge like they're not a big like a grouping of games, so it's kind of like it's a short-term form, like a super short format. And so like even though like we had one bad day, it's like Ifty had like 16 more points than us after the first day, and they ended up in second. So like you can always come back. Like that's a big thing, at least for us, like getting back after a bad day. And also with like the top 4 only payout thing, it like gets pretty troll. So
Yeah,
like, in my opinion,
Yeah, the top 4 payout is like really rough, but like, I mean, like pretty much like what Trevor was saying, like in the first day, like we only had like 20 something points, but like, we knew in like a 10 game format, like we know how many points is basically going to win, and we know how many points are going to get us into the top 4. And that, I'm not going to say like helps or like or changes how you play, but like, like the last game, for instance, where we won, that basically threw us from, I think, like 8th place to 2nd place to where we won, a bunch of money. It was basically like, we knew we had to win that game, and we knew we had to frag out. So we were just like making plays and be positioning ourselves like accordingly. But I mean, with how good some of these teams are, sometimes it's just really not possible to get into some circles. However, like that is kind of why like I still like the, the weekly finals better. And I wish there was more than 10 games because, you know, a lot of times when you find yourself like, you know, a zone hard shifts away from you, you could make a play like, hey, you know, this team we know was fighting over here and they were down a player. Like, hey, let's go and focus and try and fight them. Whereas, like in the weekly series where you have to win a game, it's pointless to go take that 4v3, although you're at an advantage, because then if you go do it and then you lose one, now you're the 3-player team with the 2-player team, and then now your chances of winning are just a dead gutter. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, like my team itself, like we pretty much like, you know, even in week 2, like we just didn't give up. You know, like we just every game we just mentally reset, and like that's like something like, you know, we all preach to each other. Like it's not just me. You know, like you have to have a strong mental when you're coming into something like this, and you have to lift each other up and basically, you know, and back each other up and just, you know, make sure, you know, everyone's in the good mindset. And you know that thus far, like our success has basically been largely because of how well we're able to, like, you know, reset after bad games and then just like, you know, completely, you know, disregard it and know that we'll talk about it after, you know, the day is over, and then just focus on the next game.
Yeah. It's interesting watching that. You know, to have it, well, how can I put this right? It's interesting imagining, really, since I'm not there, imagining what that mental reset must be like, because like the stakes are just so high that literally like a defeat one day could cripple most people. Most people wouldn't bounce back to that. You don't come back the next day and play well. You know, nobody really does that, you know. So I think there is a rarefied space that you guys are existing in out there when you're doing these sort of things, you know. It's interesting to see you guys competing on that top level and having to make those changes on, you know, such a foundational level.
Yeah, the biggest lesson of this tournament that I tell my team is that like the last game didn't matter. Like no matter what, like either on the weekend or during the week, like you can't think about the last game. The last game did not matter. It doesn't matter what happened.
Yeah.
So
in the weekly series, it's like if we go out in like 14th, we're just like, all right, 15 kills, second place. Good job, boys. Let's go on to the next one.
No, I mean,
and then we just like laugh about it, and then we just like reset and refocus onto the next game. But
I was kind of surprised because like I would say like our tilt level, like during the weekly series, the first week was like kind of high, but now they just like if they have a bad game, it's like they just laugh about it and then they're done, and they just play the next one. I think that's why we're like doing better in the survival series, like in the last like week or so. But yeah, it's definitely teaching everyone how to reset.
For sure.
Yeah, it's super important.
What's that process look like for you guys? Like as coaches, are you guys the ones trying to facilitate that like mental reset, or are these like the players coming to you and just kind of doing it on their own? You guys are joining it. Like what's that process look like?
I assume it's probably different for all of us. Like Gunner's got a much more like an older team that's more experienced than like my team, for example. So I kind of have to like I've set like some boundaries. Like you guys can only argue about the same topic 2 times before you like shut up and move on. Because I mean, there's definitely a couple of games where like Snakers and Bale will literally be talking about it for like 30 minutes straight over the same thing over and over again. I'm like, boys, like it doesn't matter anymore. Like just move on. So, but like that was like week 1 stuff, and now we're getting a lot better at it by week 3. So, I mean, it's kind of tough because if you go out early, like as a coach, we're just sitting there listening to him and we can't talk to him for like 35 minutes, like, or 30 minutes. Like we have to wait till the game ends and then like wait for this ref to arbitrarily decide when he's going to unmute us. And, and then
sometimes they don't even unmute.
Yeah. So sometimes you're just like, I have to like DM the team handler and be like, can you tell him to unmute me, please? Like, but, so sometimes it's been frustrating. Like the first week I'd like listen to like them talk about the same thing for like literally like 25 minutes straight. And I'm like, guys, like it doesn't matter. Like just move on. So, but we've definitely gotten a lot better at that. But
yeah, for like the like bounce off what Trevor said, like it's kind of right. Like I do have like a more, or basically probably one of the most experienced teams in this entire event. So it's like I mean, it makes my job easier because like they know like they know how to like mentally reset themselves. But I mean, for me, it's just pretty much like we don't talk about like we don't talk about like what happened last game going into like the next game, unless it's something that was like really, a game impacting thing. Like but would never, like, the main thing is we never put each other down. Like if they make an individual mistake, like I will talk about it with them after the game. But like, they don't go at each other with it. Like, oh man, why'd you do this? Or oh, why'd you do that? Because like, it's just
it's never productive. Yeah,
right,
it's never
exactly.
productive.
It just leads to like someone being like, shit, like, that damn, I really fucked up, and like, now my team is like bitching at me, and it just like nothing good comes out of it at the time. But afterwards, it's very important to address it. And that, I mean, that's pretty much what we do. Like we just basically go into every game is like, with whatever happened last game, like doesn't matter. Like we just need to, reset and refocus on this game and, approach it how we normally do.
For sure. Anything specific?
Yeah, and I think
so. Oh, sorry. What was that, Trevor?
I was gonna say that lesson that Gunner's team has already learned in the past is like the lesson my team is learning like the hard way in the first 2 weeks. But I'm so thankful for this tournament because it's like the mental Olympics. Like we're gonna come out of this thing like already learning that lesson. Like I feel like by week 5 or 6, like we're gonna be such a different team than we were in week 1, just off like stage presence or just being comfortable.
Yeah.
So.
I believe it. I mean, I can already see it in like your team pretty much. Like,
yeah, no, they're definitely coming around. Like, I mean, it's no joke. Like day 1, like Snaker's like, I think he was scared to peek a window. Like he was, hiding in bathrooms. And then
yeah,
last weekend he's number 3 in damage. We didn't even play well, and he's number 3 in damage. So like, it's like he's becoming himself and comfortable on stage. So
that's the thing too. Is like you'll read like Twitch chat and people like STK low, Sonic's low, Oath low.
No, it's Oath with a 0.
It's just like just from with 0. Yeah, it's a lot of like viewers don't realize that like it's literally the best players in the world. Like if you peak them, they're gonna crack your shit, and like you just need you need to. You get knocked and flushed and say, oh, that player is terrible, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's going against one of the other best players in the world. Like, you just can't expect, like, and even from a coach's standpoint, it's important to know, like, you can't expect your players to just win every fight in every 1v1 they're going to take, right? So it's like, you can't get mad at them and you can't harp on them for losing, a gunfight because it's just going to happen. And especially on a stage like this, I mean, it's just like, we fight against infantry and, someone loses a 1v1. Like, I mean, that's, it's one of the best teams in the world with some of the best shots, it's going to happen. Like, and it's important, like, my players know, like, at this point, like, I can't win every fight, especially on a stage like this. And like he just said, like Snaker's like was probably, coming into this knowing how good that he is, was maybe a little like overconfident, but then like instantly kind of like got, not like put in his place, but he instantly like realized like, hey, you know what?
I think it was the other way around.
These dudes are nuts.
I think it was the other way around.
You don't think he wasn't confident, and then
no, he wasn't at all. And then like he realized like then he realized, wait, I'm Snakers.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could go either way, right? You could either be overconfident and then like get punished for it, and then learn from that, or you could be underconfident and have a lack of confidence in yourself, and then obviously realize how good of a player you are, like Snakers is, and then be like, hey, like, what am I doing? Let me play my game. Like I'm here for a reason. But
I mean, that's been the biggest thing. I've been like just hoping like for us, like once we like are comfortable and play our game, like I mean, there's a reason. Like, I mean, I know scrims don't mean much, but when we're like comfortable in the quarantine, just hanging out, we're like running these lobbies half the time. Like, and then we get on stage and like we're like locked up. So like once my team can get over like this mental hurdle, which I think we're like there almost, I'm pretty confident in how we can play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, one comment for those two people on Twitch that say like SQ low, STK low, and like Oath with 0. You're at home. You're not here. You ever thought about that? Why you're home?
I mean, we don't even read like Twitch chat. Like it's just like, as much as we love, like, and we have so many people supporting us, like there's obviously everyone has that like regional pride or like team pride.
Mhm.
And it's just like I tell my guys just don't read Twitch chat. Like what's the point? You know what I mean? Like
It's just nothing but there's nothing that's good that can come out of Twitch chat. So yeah, it's like, I mean, it doesn't help that one of my players said something and like people took it out of context, and then now he's being bombarded by like 600 people. And stuff like that. But yeah,
Brew. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I completely forgot what I was about to say. Like,
Jake made that mistake week 1, but we you know, you can come back from it.
Yeah. You know what's funny, Flux, is that the number 1 team that was picked in the pick'ems so far in each week has not made the weekly final.
Really?
Damwon, first week.
Mm-hmm.
They were number 1. They didn't make the weekly final. We were the number 1 of week 2. Didn't make the weekly final. 4 a.m. Didn't make the weekly final.
That's wild.
I think I was like second.
They're not voting for the tried and true Oath and SDK. I don't know what's going on, man.
I mean, we've been up there, but like, you know what? I don't even want like the pick'ems. Like, I don't want to be cursed by the pick'ems.
Yeah, it's a curse.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a curse.
It's just like when so many people are relying on you, like that's when the hate comes in. Like some of the messages I've got, like, oh my goodness, like
so some of the messages we've got, like after like we were like number 1 in pick'ems, and then like we went out, we're like, okay.
Should have seen the messages we got after the last game.
I'm talking like anime profile pictures and like LFT in their bio with like 10 followers. Like,
yeah. Oh no, like literally week one, like when we were in like 8th place, like in the weekly finals, like I literally had people message me like, "Don't ruin my pick'em.
Yeah.
What the? I voted you guys on kills. I voted you guys to win. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?" And I'm like, bro, like it's a pick'em coupon, right?
Yeah.
I didn't
spend their hard-earned dollar on that, bro.
Yeah.
I know, but the best part about it, like I got to clip the message, was after we ended up winning like most kills, which gets you like the most EP, and then getting like 2nd place. The guy, his only response back was "thank you." Like after all of that like crazy shit, after all this crazy shit that he was spamming me, he saw that he won all of those like points off of like us winning the most kills and getting 2nd overall, and he just types "thank you," like not even like sorry. Like,
you know what's funny is that I didn't even know this was a thing, but my friend was like someone I knew was like he was like, "Oh yeah, like I lost like $300 worth of like some skins from like something or something like that on a betting site over like a match or something," and then I was like, "Oh wait, you could," like I was like, "There's like betting sites like that," and he's like, "Yeah," and then like I literally, do you remember the CS:GO player named Freakazoid?
It sounds familiar. It sounds super familiar.
Like there was a time where he actually confronted someone in Twitch chat where they said like, "Oh, like I lost a bet," and then he literally said like I don't care if you bet for us and fuck your skins too. And I timestamped that and sent it to them. Sent it to him. I was like, "Don't bet on us like that." I literally told him, "Fuck your skins." Oh my god! But yeah, honestly, like. I guess like, you know, the top pick'em could be a curse, but it's like this tournament format like is something that, you know, like you see, like it's not, you're not going to see the same constant teams like that are going in. There's some teams that have never been there too, but like that have made it through. But also like some of the teams that are like, you know, that like came back out, like, you know, into the bottom 16 reseeding, like it could be anybody. And like, like honestly, it's like kind of ironic that us for 2 weeks we've been the only NA team not to make it. But it's like, I feel like, you know, like once we get over this slump, we'll be fine for the rest of the weeks. But it's like, it's difficult considering like what's on the line each game. And then it's also difficult for your players to realize like, you know, like valuing like certain aspects of the game or playing it differently to the point where they're constantly thinking about the game winning position and like trying to balance that in order to maximize outcomes during the game. Because from something that like, you know, like the original super settings, which came down to like just maximizing each game and like realizing like, you know, you take what you can, like, you know, and like, you know, like getting a bunch of kills and whatnot. But like, you know, for that not to like for that to be kind of tossed out sometimes, and like for us to be like in like a really ideal spot, circle one, and for it to just go completely elsewhere, it's like to like the worst place we can imagine, like for multiple games, is like one of the most like mentally taxing things. So like this honestly is like a huge mental tournament, like considering its length too, and just how many games that they're playing, because like they're not playing, like, you know, honestly, we're gonna end up playing more survival games than supersetting games, which is really like
That's crazy.
stupid for me. Like in a tournament with so many games and so much money on the line, we're playing more survival games than we are supersetting games, and that pisses
Hey,
me
not
off.
us.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, like no, like there are more survival games being played. Let's say, like overall, like I think that's like
Yeah,
like
of course.
I think that's like an aspect of where like if PUBG is not looking at that and like thinking they're like really dumb for doing this is like I don't know, like or well I know some story behind, so it's not the entirety of PUBG, but you know
Mhm.
those who know, and yeah, to whom it may concern, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't
But-
really know.
Yeah, it's like I mean, like I guess originally looking into like when we were coming like into this, when we previously discussed like what it's going to be, what's on the line, you have to win a game, all this kind of stuff. Like I don't think that people imagined that it'd be as stressful as this. Like, you know, even then, like, you know, for like people didn't think that winning a game would be so relieving in a sense, because usually what happens when you win a game, nice, we got a like, you know, we got a load of points, you know, either we're moving up or we're staying on top. But in this series, you're winning a game and it's just pure relief knowing that you don't have to play these games anymore and that you're just sitting waiting for a best of 10. Like it's completely changed the dynamic.
And I mean,
Yeah.
another thing to add to your point is a big part about winning, especially early in the week in survival, is like we talked about the amount of games. It's like you need a break, man. Like this, like we won day one, and I'm like we didn't even we barely talked to each other the next on Wednesday this week. We just everyone wanted to sleep in and like just take a break because we've been playing like so much, like and like we've played like 2 NPL splits at this point, like and the amount of games that have been on stage, and it's just yeah, like I mean a big part of like that you said, like we're talking about resetting, is just getting those days off. That's a huge reward for winning early. So plus like after you've been in that day 3 like mental taxing, like you know like what those teams are going through, and you're like sitting at home like thank God it's not us, like so that's a huge part of it. Like I saw like I know like I DM'd Gunner when he won his game yesterday. They're like in the final circle 1v1 smoke crawling around, like holy shit, that is so stressful. Like I was stressed, and I was like, man, if that was my team, I'd be like, holy like Ayo, thank God you just won that 1v1. Like oh my, imagine if they lost that. Like imagine if you lose that. Like that's such a hit to the mental.
I'll tell you what happened in that game. Like we made a lot of mistakes in that game to almost lose. Like, I mean, we deserved to lose that game, to be honest, like because of how, in certain aspects and how we played it and how, like, you know, individuals played it. Like, basically, like, we knew with the shift that compound was basically going to get fed. And, like, we still, like, had 2 people west, like, holding boats where, like, it was almost like a mentality like point system thing. Like there's basically no reason for us to hold boats in that situation because teams coming up on our west doesn't really affect us because
no, you want multiple teams to come up. Yeah, you want them to fight. Yeah,
that, and also
exactly.
like
you want them to fight each other, and you want them
like
to weaken each
teams
other.
coming in is going to be inevitable, and like you really have to be selective in what you pick and choose to hold out, and like what you want to be yours, because like these teams, like you could have the best position in the center of the zone, and 2, 3, 4 teams could crash you, like because they wanted to.
And not only that, like holding other teams to worth, because a lot of times you need to use those other teams to like you know help you win. Like you want I mean a big lesson, like you know I know Bale learned the first week or the second week was in that game that SDK won the first game. I know Diz is in chat and he and I have talked about it. It's like him and Fuzz versus they were 2 up as solos and they're up against 4 of STK. Yeah. And Bale is like watching Fuzz and like shooting at Fuzz, but really they need to work together. They have to work together to kill STK, or neither of them win the game. And so it doesn't matter for either of them. Like so a lot of times you need to like keep solos alive or keep duos alive, but like try to force them into the other teams, and because you want the other teams to fight because you need them to get hurt and like fractured as a team. And
like that aspect is that's the part that I like about the weekly series is like the different in strategy. Cause like I'm like,
Yeah.
I love just like strategy and like
Yeah,
studying
same.
like different strategies and stuff, and like the fact that ever becomes like a relevant like situation in a game like this that we've played like complete
No, it's definitely
opposites,
super
the
cool.
whole
Yeah, it's
time.
definitely super
It's like
cool.
it's like just learning that and like your team like acknowledging it in comms as like a coach being like, hey, don't shoot those guys. I mean, they're free kills for us right now, but like they're our alarm system.
They don't
Like,
matter.
let's figure
Yeah.
out what teams are on the west. Let's
Yeah.
figure out what teams are on the east, and they'll basically be our alarm system, and then it'll be easier for us to track kill feed and track numbers of each team, basically, because this team is what's between us and everyone else. So now we know, who's
Yeah.
going where. So it's just like,
The
where
role of
prior,
like the role of the solo player is like completely changed in a survival format compared to like a team,
Yeah.
like a super settings format.
Mhm.
So it's like the
Was-
game we won this week where we're hard fed nursery, like in whatever pharmacy outside of Millie, but like there's 2 events on the hill and there's a solo of meta and there's Purdy on the south. But like if Ents like they like wrap north and killed the meta player, but if they don't kill him, like he has an off angle on us when we have to fight eventually. So like they should have never killed him. They should tracked him. And then maybe if that guy knocks one of us, then like their fight gets way easier. If they don't kill like Purdy, like if they don't shoot at Purdy and Purdy knocks one of us, all of a sudden it's a 2v2 because like we got knocked on the other side from solos.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is like so different.
Same thing like yesterday. Like my boys were stuck in the kill meta mindset, and then when they were like trying to like look at their rotate, they literally just shot at a team that was like rotating next to them, and then like to the point where they had to stop and they had no other choice than fighting us. And then like so some of them could argue, oh, we just need to kill them and then rotate. I was like,
Yeah, that's another thing.
no, I was like, no, you let them pass and like like see where they go, and then either you recrash what they crash, or like you just watch them leave. Like it's like you gave them no choice but to try and kill you, and you're blaming them for it, and it's not their fault. Like it's in this meta of where you're chasing the win. Like it's in kill meta, you're killing everything in sight, but in this meta, like you have to think consciously. Like if I shoot this guy right now, or if I pop this guy's tire right now,
Yeah.
does that mean that he's going to be stuck there and he's going to be a thorn in our side eventually, or is he going to be able to or am I just screwing this guy over and like making him screw over another team or stuff like that? It's like these kind of conscious decisions that you're thinking aside from your own decision making is huge, because you can like generally a lot of people early game are looking to pop tires, looking to ruin people's rotates, blah 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 blah. But it's actually
It's bad.
it's actually bad now.
Yeah, you want those teams to move. Like you want to be able to
teams to move. It's like if someone's in a spot in front of you and you're like, hey, like it'd be really nice if they leave, and if the circle does this, it's a really good spot because they could go to a better spot. But if you pop their tires and stuff like that, suddenly they're not going to want to leave, or they're not even going to try to leave because it's just too risky. And then now they have the position in front of you, and if the circle goes away even slightly to the point where you're out, you're like, well, that's just like there goes our game, like almost. And unless you have something else, which you obviously have to think about. So it's like it's a completely different game in multiple aspects that people can't just see and deduct as a fan. It's like we're playing a game of where like you are doing everything you possibly can to put yourselves in game-winning spots with whatever works. Because it's not just killing people anymore. It's not just sweeping teams and clearing out a side and whatnot.
and
Like
staying more up. The whole
Yeah,
time,
right.
too.
And
Yeah.
like it's all these aspects that like like only like some super aspects have been like essentially like kind of wiped away. Like I guess in the points aspect, but everything that was like brought back regarding like long time ago PUBG of where like your survival is your points is compounded now. So like it's like extremely hard, but also like sometimes with where these circles are going, like these circle series have been changed. In what we know for sure is that it like the new super settings of circles have adopted the circle settings that are in ranked mode. So that means that circle 2 shift is smaller. Like a couple of the circles are smaller.
I've been grinding ranked, baby, learning the circles.
Like the first circle has an extra minute of time. Some of the circles don't even have a minute in between, stuff like that. And it's like those seem like very little minute changes, but like like aside from where it's been going, it actually changes a lot more than people think. But a lot of people, like not everybody has like necessarily like taken it into heart and like changed the way they play, but some have. And like it's just like it's like the weekly survival is essentially just this like wild like survival fest, and like so like the lengths that some of these teams go like is like nuts, because like in length in terms of greed, in terms of strategy, in terms of like like how silently they play, like the length of some of the spots that it goes to and their map knowledge, like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us. Like Rello is like he calls on our team, but he never played like 2017, 2018 PUBG. Like, so he gets in these end games and he like doesn't know a lot of like rat spots that like I like know just from playing at that time. Like when we like lost that game against VP outside of Picado, like he didn't know 3 people could be laying on the side of the road. And I'm like he didn't know that existed, like literally, because he just never played during that time. Like something about like the old school like survival meta that we all 3 of us played in is like you learned how to live till the last second, man. If you had to, like everyone was like a god rat, and that's like not a thing anymore, because like the rats are in a traditional super setting. If you're a rat and you're a solo, you're like, I might as well kill this one guy so I get 1 point, because I'm probably not going to make it to top 8 anyway. Or I'll probably get more points for killing him than I would if I had lived. And now it's like you got to live till the very end. So it's like bringing back a lot of these, like I think you see a lot of like older IGLs that are in here, like their solos make it a lot further, or just players that have more experience in general. Like Snakers and like Pat are probably the best rats on our team, because they played forever and they just like know how to get around the map, or they have an idea of how to get into areas. So, but that's one thing that's definitely changed too.
Interesting. Do you guys feel like I don't know, I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. Do you guys think the flexibility that this is forcing teams to have is something that is worth what the sacrifice is in terms of the effect it has on the consistency?
No.
Yeah. Not
because like we're never gonna do this. We're never gonna do this again.
It's pointless.
Hopefully.
Well, I think like
I think
it's a huge benefit. Like I think it's a huge benefit playing and like doing this, like because like you like the amount that we've learned just from like the weekly series games like is a lot. Like when we look over these games, like we're just like like you really look at a game like differently, right? So it's like you look at a game of how you could have won that game as opposed to like how you could have maximized points. So I think like going home and then like instantly going into like PCS events against North American teams, which obviously like aren't going to be as good as these teams, that are here, like you could really just kind of like almost like take like the best of both worlds and just
learn how to abuse the situation.
Exactly, like learn how to.
We definitely talked about that.
Yeah, there's going to be weaker teams here, so not only can we, make a play like a more bolder play to win, to get more points, but
we know what we need to do to win.
To win, exactly. And that's something I think like teams really are going to want to take home from this event, as far as like experience, like whether or not you win $1 here or you win $2 million, like if you're still playing PUBG and you're still a team, there's going to be a lot that teams being here have benefited from, and taking that home into like your regional experience is going to be tremendous, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely a lot of situations where we've talked about, how would we win this game? Like when you think you're completely effed or making like some big YOLO play that we wouldn't make in a normal game or stuff like that. So that'll definitely come into the conversation when we get home. But honestly, I think my guys are just ready to go home because they're ready to not have freaking crackheads at every corner of their edge. I think Snaker said, he's like, how happy I'm going to be when long skirts not coming up behind me. he's like, I could name any NA player. So.
I mean, I'm telling you, right? When we see Tank in the kill feed,
dude, you don't mess with the Tank, bro. You don't mess with Tank. And you know what? In North America, there is no Tank, so we're okay. You know what I mean? Like when we leave Korea. When we leave Korea, Tank he's a distant memory for us. You know what I mean? So
until the next international,
until next year, until the end of the year.
Exactly.
Man, That'll be interesting. I hope they return to like more traditional settings for the future tournaments.
Well,
specifically
I'm pretty sure like in the announcement, like it's, we don't know anything 100%, but it will be super settings throughout the end of the year. This is more like a show matchy tournament, like celebration of PUBG.
Yeah,
they want to try something new, and that's why like I think my initial knee jerk reaction and Sean's too is like, no, this isn't worth it because like we're never gonna like really use this again, like for the most part, and it's like so stressful. And
the knee jerk reaction was just a knee jerk reaction. You guys, like, as being good coaches as you are going to.
I mean, yeah, everything you've said we have talked about, and like we've talked about like when we get home, like everything you said, like we've talked about. But like initially, I'm like, man, this shit is not worth it. Like it's so like if you get like we won in game 12 for the first week, and like we were playing like terror. We were playing so bad. Like I don't even know how we got top 16. Well, I do know because we're good, but like we shouldn't have got top 16 this season the way we came out the first day, and like we were struggling, and like there was a lot of like younger guys on stage for the first time or on this big of a stage, this big of a this kind of competition around them, and getting it like I always said a bunch of getting to that day 3, man. Like Gunner had it yesterday, Sean's had it the last couple of weeks, but that shit is so stressful, and it's such a tax on the players. Like it's a tax on us, like, and on the guys, it's like even more so because they know they're not bad, they know they're like great players. So I mean, I hope people don't take it too heavily that like a team like Sonics doesn't make it to the final. Like, dude, they're still Sonics. They're still going to go home, and it's still going to be us 3 like fighting for every PCS, and we still don't want to fight Tig in the end game, but we're going to have to. Like, so you got to realize that the stress it's putting on the players individually.
Yeah. I've wondered about that, especially with how troll Twitch chat is. Like you guys have mentioned, like it is so incredibly
you can
troll.
only take so much out of it.
Bro, the Chinese fans are brutal, dude. The Chinese fans are brutal. They go in. They all, they like after we hot dropped 50, man. Like you should have seen the messages my boys were getting. Like they are brutal. But
oh yeah, you remember what happened in the last game of semifinals in PGC?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I mean, all I'm saying is if he had to pay the price, all right. Like they're all like a bunch of people saying like, well, they're just gonna bridge camp. If they bridge camp us again, they get hot dropped again. Like it's a very simple equation. Like get bridge camp oath, get hot dropped next game, or when it matters, get hot dropped. So like we didn't start the fight, we're just ending it. Yeah. So
I mean, realistically, what you guys, I mean, with how obviously you guys didn't really fully know at the time, but where the circle ended, you guys essentially could have taken them out of winning the.
No, they would have. They would have won. They would have won that week. 100%.
Exactly.
They would have won.
Yeah, they would. They would. Yeah.
So if they didn't bridge campus, they probably would have won.
They learned the lesson. That's for sure.
Yeah. There's always a caveat for two things. It's
like we wanted to bridge camp them. Guys wanted to bridge camp them, or I mean, after they bridge camped us the first week, the guys wanted to hot drop them in the last 2 games, and I was like, all right, guys, like chill. Like let's just play. Let's just play. And then this week we were like, man, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like even like the hot drop on freaking like
J compound,
right? Like no, like on phase, like and although like it was just like ranking decision and stuff, like we knew they were the only 2. We knew. Well, I mean, yeah, like everyone was like hating on us, but like we knew that obviously. They could retaliate on us, and they probably still will. And like we could, do the same, and other teams could do the same. But like, like going into that, like, they were the only team that looted their loot spots. Like we're contested everywhere we go. Like you obviously see, we like Hacienda, but like it's impossible for us to go to Hacienda when the team that's looting there, you already see what they're doing on Erangel with DA. Mm-hmm. Like they're not going to leave, and they basically make. They make the weekly finals money monthly in salaries. So it's like, how do you really?
Yeah, they don't care. That's a big thing. So like, yeah, that's a big thing with the Chinese teams. Yeah, the Chinese teams, they don't care about the money. Like the way they play, they get that in salary.
I mean, look at 4AM and DA.
Yeah,
look at 4AM and DA and J compound. Like, holy,
4AM has honestly nothing to lose. Like,
they have nothing to lose. Yeah,
that's a team with nothing to lose. So like, they're having fun at this point. Like they don't.
Bro, they're basically at home. They're playing in their, org-owned PC cafe, just vibing.
Yeah, they don't care. They can care less.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's like just like that, like them going for J like every single time. Obviously, like it's more of like why is DA going there, but like it's like like them like willing to just go there and not give it up and whatnot is like just a testament to be like, we don't really care. Like,
But
like
to their credit, them having that like mental approach of not caring is allowing them to like play a lot. Like, I mean, they won the week, and Ifty was in second.
Yeah,
like,
it's
they
a lot
play
less
like.
pressure.
I mean, that's so much. That's what I was like trying to tell my guys. It's like when they were stressing out, I'm like guys, you're not gonna like. It's not like you're getting fired. Like if you do bad, like you know what I mean. Like a lot, there is like something to that. Like that Ifty will throw like 3 bodies at a situation, like and not and like carelessly almost. Like they'll just if they lose their lives, they get 0, they get 0. But if they win, they win. Like they win big. So.
Like whether you get 7, like like 19 kills, your Petrichor Road, you get 19 kills in the 3rd place, like it doesn't matter. That like all those people you killed and all the moves you made didn't matter if you didn't win. It's like remember how Gunner said it. Like they go out 14th, they're like, yeah, nice try, boys. 2nd place, 15 kills. Move on, like it's like
pretty much.
Yeah.
But having that approach of like whatever happens, like it doesn't matter is
We definitely lost him. He is vanished.
I will say the Wi-Fi in the practice rooms is kind of shoddy at times. Oh, there he is.
Okay, no worries. Give me just 1 second here. We'll have him back up in just a second.
He's back.
Dude, that's why I was late by like 5 minutes. I was restarting this PC. I'm hardlined in. It just keeps saying no internet.
Yeah,
that's so strange.
But whatever. But yeah, like I lost my train of thought. Chinese teams are good and they don't care.
Basically, they're good and they make enough money to where they can play recklessly. Like if you a perfect example is like PCS like group stages, like with when a team gets like really far ahead, you'll just notice they continue to steamroll because you already know you qualified, and you already know like you're better than most of the teams in the lobby, if not all the teams in the lobby, and it's just like you could just constantly just play with this aggression that other teams don't expect. And like, in the case with like the Chinese region, like, a lot of them make like a ton of money. So, in week 1, week 2, week 3, like when you're competing for like $100,000, I mean, like, God V's watch is probably $100,000. Like that man don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. Like,
it's true though. Yeah.
Yeah, like Godby's hospital bill. Yeah, that was nothing. Like that was. I was telling Gunner, I was like Gunner, you think Godby has like a gold-plated iPhone? Like,
bro.
Yeah, he's probably got like a gold-plated mouse that's what he's playing Aim Labs with or something like that.
I mean, put it this way: there's sub that
they don't call him Gold V for nothing,
Yeah, Gold V. Yeah.
There's sub that came in who is actually a really, really good player.
He's nuts.
Like, apparently was bought out for like $100,000.
Yeah.
Just to be a damn sub, like to get how much money
Yeah, like same thing with Tide
in China.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's 100% confirmed or not, but that's
like you remember VC Gaming, Gunner, from PGC. That was like the other Chinese team that like dropped on me. Like it was like related to 4AM. They had a player named Tide that was probably like their best player in the shot caller, and then he joined 4AM. Like he got bought out to join 4AM, and he never played. He played like 1 game.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. Like like I saw him play like maybe like 1-2 games, maybe a couple games. That's it. But he was nuts. Like he was nuts.
Wow.
Like he was nuts shot. He was a shot caller for like VC. I could tell because he was speaking the most. But like, yeah, it's like Pignon, like he's nuts. And then obviously, like people saw him like die solo or like make some mistakes and stuff like that. Come on, the guy just came into the game. He probably been like playing pubs and stuff like that. Like like he's nuts. Like they like all these kind of things like with the money swimming around. It's like I guess it's like maybe a little bit less pressure on them, but at the same time, it's like they're like everything is just reinforced better because of like they have less to worry about at times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty nuts. Like just imagine like people are like rumors say that PDC in November is going to be in Shanghai. Like that is like if once that is confirmed, like holy shit, that is going to be crazy. Like that is going to be nuts. And like I only could look forward to like whatever information else comes out about that, because if I remember correctly, the original system for 2020 was going to be 3 PGSs and then a PGC final, which was rumored to be in Shanghai, like anyway. And it was apparently like, it was already going through, but then everything got tossed out because of COVID. Like the first one was going to be in Berlin, which, the qualifiers were just about to kick off, like, back in LA, but then, COVID happened. And then another PGS was going to be in Korea. And then another PGS was apparently going to be either in Russia, I think, or Thailand. And then like, the final PGC, China. Like, I feel like that is like the next place for like a major PUBG tournament.
I mean, you got to do these esports in Asia. Like, it's so much more hype here. Like, it's playing PUBG in Asia is so different than playing PUBG in America. Like,
or Europe,
or I mean, or even Europe to that extent. So it's so hype being here.
I think China would have to change that thing that they have, like, where like they can't have like spectators
for like violent video games. Because like essentially what the regulation is that if it's a violent video game, that they can't like have spectators like watching it.
Yeah, which would suck. Like, which would mean like I wish it would just come back to
because like man, the Chinese fans, like, holy crap, they are loud. Like,
they flew from when last global event when we were playing in Oakland. They literally flew from China to just fans,
LA,
like,
to LA. They were
staying. Ticket.
They stayed at the same hotel that the players were staying at. Like they stayed at the same hotel. They came to group stage. They came to semis. They came to finals, like in Oakland too. Like, dude, they like followed the team. Like,
they would literally sit. They would sit outside, like literally. So basically, like, semifinals happened at the
OGN
at
Arena.
the OGN Arena where we played MPL, right? And it's like, we were super hyped because we just won freaking semifinals. So we hot dropped 4 a.m. Like we walk outside and it's just like 100 Chinese fans just like staring at us. And then 4 a.m. and like QM come or whoever it was comes in behind us, and like all these fans are just going crazy for pictures, for autographs and everything. And it's just like the fact that they flew from Shanghai or they flew from China to LA is just mind blowing. Like people don't even do that for sports teams. Like,
right.
And that's within like states,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fly to Florida to watch a Rangers game, although I'm a Rangers fan.
True. Yeah.
PUBG just tweeted out. PUBG just tweeted out the survival tournament, boys. I guess we can talk about it if we want to.
It has like super blue zones or something like that.
Four squads of 16 players each.
Apparently,
what?
Apparently the each game is supposed to last 13 minutes, which is about half of what they last right now.
Wait, what? I did not know that.
Yeah.
And they last 13 minutes. So like hyper blue.
They're
$60,000.
What?
It's literally 4. Four squads jumping into like one zone, and it's just like I don't know. It's just for fun. Like, it's third person.
Oh, okay.
We literally don't even play. We don't even play third person. It's just supposed to be a fun tournament to pretty much break up like the halfway point where you play, you have fun. You're playing third person, which we don't play, and you hopefully win money. But if you don't, like, you're not too upset about it because it's third person and it's
Aaron Gill only, by the way.
Crazy.
Aaron Gill only. No other map.
Okay.
It's good.
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting though. I didn't know that was for.
I'm thinking I'm playing.
Yeah, why not jump in?
I know. Yeah, why not? Like, I mean, who knows? Like, maybe we'll bring Sharpshot in if he's crack that TPP. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna start playing ranked with Sharp this week. TPP only.
Yeah, apparently he's been playing. So
yeah. Me, Sharp, Penta, and we're gonna grind. We'll get Wolf in there.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I think why they're doing TPP. I think why they're doing TPP is basically there's still a large like fan base that plays TPP, and like people, those people are gonna watch like some of the best teams in the world just duke it out in third person just to see how it goes. Like. It's just, a change up. I mean, they did it at like the first event too, right? But like, I mean, I just think it's honestly meant to I think it's honestly just meant to basically be something fun. Like obviously, competitively we play first person, but however, there's still a very large casual player base that plays third
TPP.
person.
Mm-hmm.
That would want to see like the best teams in the world like playing what they play
third.
because they just hang out, they play casually, and like it is what it is.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the Korean and Chinese teams will be cracked for TPP. Like I'm not even joking. Like they like before the super rule set was made, they were still playing TPP. Like
Really?
it was they knew the ins and outs like no other. Like it was nuts. Like they even figured out like before. Do you remember a really famous clip between Mime and H1 where they figured out the first person like peeking thing where you don't lean, you just stay still, but like like not even half your body shows, but you're fully peeking like the side. Like that was figured out through TPP. Like that was figured out like through TPP right there. So like like that kind of stuff. Like they pretty much will know the ins and outs like much more than we do, and like the Western teams like EU and NA and stuff like that. But like it's gonna be very interesting to watch. Like it's gonna be very interesting to watch for sure. Because like the seeding of it is also like done from like once the weekly reseeding and once the finals for this week are done, like rank 1 through 32 are going to be seeded like into like the groups, like like kind of in a snake fashion. Oh, Trevor's talking, but he's muted.
It's like the team in first is with the team in fifth, like in the team in ninth or whatever. So it's like it's like that.
Yeah.
Second
it's
sixth,
kind of like a
third with
snaking
seventh.
like ranking order. Yeah.
So.
And when's this?
This next week. So we
Gotcha.
have 3 days off, and then we have the rehearsal, and then from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that is the tournament. It's gonna have like a group stage, and then like a semifinal, like a knockout, and then a grand final on the last day.
Okay.
Huh. Yep. So fun
60 grand,
little
baby.
60 grand on the line. I don't. Is it 60 flat or is there crowdfunding with it?
I don't think there's crowdfunding with this
I
one.
don't think so.
Okay.
It just says like 30.
Yeah, it just says
30 for
yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Got you. Wow.
Should be interesting.
That'll definitely be interesting.
It's time to brush up on the TPP skills during the 3 days off, boys.
Right. Man.
Yeah, it'll be funny. It'll be funny.
It'll be an interesting situation. Well, damn, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that plus some of these latter weeks, you know what I'm saying, to see what kind of craziness ensues with
Can't wait to see how stressful week 6 is.
Yeah. Bro. I don't know what people are gonna do for that week.
Yeah. Weeks 4, 5, and 6.
Week
It
6
is.
will go up.
This has been a roller coaster the whole time. It's gonna go literally off the rails, like for week 5 and 6.
Week 6 is gonna be for like $1 million, like no big deal.
It's nuts.
Like second place will get like 600 grand in the last week. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's nutty. That is absolutely
pretty much whoever
nutty.
wins is winning the tournament, guaranteed.
well, that's how it was every
Yeah.
week. I think
Yeah.
I think you're cursed if you win
Yeah.
a weekend because whoever wins the weekend is in first for the tournament, and that person hasn't won the next weekend. So, Sonics was in first going into the first final. Then Afrika's in first, and 4AM's in first, but they're not going to be in first after this week. So, somebody new will be in first.
Yeah, same thing with like like the number 1 in pick'ems. If y'all are trying to curse the team, you heard it here first.
By the way, there's nothing precluding any teams from just like hot dropping whoever they think would win on that last weekend, right?
There's
No,
no
that is
stopping that.
No,
Like,
we did
it's
it. We
to
did
know-
it.
Yeah.
We did it on Sunday.
That's-
I mean, I'll tell you right now, if for whatever reason we're in week 6, and there's a team like, that, and 4 a.m. I'll just, and 4 a.m. is like about to win $1 million, and obviously we hot drop each other before, and I mean, we may do it or we may not. Like who knows? We may high drop Oath just for the hell of it, or Sonics. But
No.
no, I mean, I'm just kidding.
No.
There's nothing stopping. There's nothing stopping anyone from doing it, and literally, it's gonna be messed up because it's gonna the winner of the final week is going to win over.
It's gonna
$1 million.
happen. It's gonna happen.
And it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen for sure.
yeah.
It's gonna be crazy for sure.
It will be an interesting situation, but anywho, I think that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I don't want to keep you too crazy long.
All right.
But maybe we can
We'll catch up in a week or two. Gunner won't have any hair left. And we'll see what happens.
I was going to say, hopefully I can get you guys this next week, and if not, then we were discussing this, by the way, to anybody watching, that we might transition depending on what schedules are and stuff like that, in terms of either just going straight to YouTube with it, or maybe like now, like kind of being slightly off times, whatever works best for the homies out in Korea, because they only have like literally like next to no days off. You know what I'm saying? So in between all these stressful matches, it's going to be challenging.
If you ever see all of us win on the first day of survival, we can probably do it that week. That's the only time you have time off. Like,
like the first day, all of NA just goes out, like Zenith included.
But yeah, it depends on how we did survival that week. If we want to do like this week, I was like, yeah, I can do it. Like the other two were probably stressing, but that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
but thank you very much for having us again, Flux. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Flux.
Always, friends.
Always a good
so
time
much.
with the boys.
I appreciate you guys. Take care, and I will see you guys hopefully sooner than later. Our friends watching, thank you guys so much for chilling with us tonight and hearing us out. And we will see everybody sooner than later.
Peace.
All right. Thank you guys.